Okay, this is I think part 11. Let's continue with the texturing and giving textures to this to our bathroom. So let's do these lamps here. I think let me isolate. Let me make sure that isolate this. Now we need to UV unwrap this. So we can add Maxim there, and then I think this is a separate object, so I can, and I shouldn't have these faces are not necessary, so let me just add a seam around there. Control E, Maxim, and maybe a seam just there, unwrap. So everything else should be easier to unwrap, so just need to add a seam there, add a seam there, maybe add a seam there, Maxim, unwrap. Do the same for this, add a seam there, Maxim, can add a seam there, maybe there, maybe there, unwrap. Add a seam around there, and then from there to there, maybe just disconnect it there, and then unwrap. Yes, so for this, let's go back to shading. We can give this part here the metal. If we give it metal, what about wood? I think I like wood better. And I just, to add more style, I can add let me add a loop here, and then scale this up, and then bevel again. Let's make it more fancy, like that. Now our lamp, we're just going to, let's make sure that this is also well UV unwrapped. But this is not really necessary because it's going to be using a different. Control E, Maxim, unwrap, select everything, unwrap again. This is supposed to use a different material. It's supposed to use the glass material. So I'll add another material here, and then find the glass, and then apply that to it, like that. So you can see. And just for this detail here, for those filaments, we can just add maybe a torus. Let's just get a cube, scale it plane, and I'll just delete that edge, select these here, select these two, and then bevel those like that, and then add a scale modifier to give it that resolution, that thickness, and just for some extra detail to make this look good, apply this, and then use the decimate modifier to reduce some of the resolution that we have in there. Let's just use collapse, close. We don't need that much detail. Now this is going to get the light emission. Now we need the emission shader, so shader emission, connect these. Now we can use, let's try 5. Now we need to join this to this. Now if you go to shader, basically you can see at least a filament from there. Now if we have the lights on, you can see we will at least see something inside there. And if we have, say, the bloom on, you can see it makes the light even more convincing. So this also needs to be glass, this part here. So let's give it that, and you can see now we get that. If we go under settings, you can turn on show back face or no show back face. I think for this case it helps. Now this is where we are so far. Again, we still need to bake the lighting. I also need to give a texture for these walls. So for those, let me just Smart UV unwrap them and then give them the white texture. Make sure that the scale is right. Let's bake the texture. Now, I'm not going to work on these here. You can work on them yourself. Let's see how that works. So let's unhide everything and then bake one more time. So in bake in direct lighting, just need to give it a few seconds and everything should be baked. So this is how our scene looks, and I think it looks good. So let me just, problem is that my OBS is a bit lagging, so let's do a simple animation going around to see the different elements, and I'll render that, and so that you can see that in the videos. So let me get the camera, turn on keyframes. So let's mark a keyframe there. I'll change this to, let's go to animation here, and I'll turn random colors here for this, and maybe cavity. So also let me switch back to the normal aspect ratio. So by changing the output setting to 1920, let me just make 1280 by 720 to make this render fast. So let's begin with the camera here. Then at around 50 frames we come in. Look at the different objects. I want to capture all the details that we have spent all the time on. Yes, so make sure you capture even the switch. And let's play back. Okay, some parts is really fast, so we need to fix that by moving these. So I think around here it starts to speed up way too much, so let me scale that up. Maybe it can come in a bit faster than that. Let me open up my curves graph editor so that I can remove a few, I can fix a few issues that we're seeing here. If we look at, let's examine these. Let's reduce some of those bumps and make smooth transitions. Let's reduce some of those bumps. See, it is more smoother now. Let's look at this. Yeah, we're not making a feature film, so that's good enough for me. So I'll go on and export this, and you'll see that in the next video. Thank you.